Hey, me again. All right. After Iguanageddon, which I wasn't actually planning on filming this morning. No, I had this plan, what I want to do. First part is actually quite serious. Then I'm going to show you some fun stuff, not garden related. It's actually pretty cool. So, some of you know, but many of you don't, that I've been dealing with a crippling situation on my body for several years now. And the way I've actually kept myself walking is with plants and the stuff that I'm going to show you, which I think that if you're a, what they call prepper, are we even allowed to say that now? It's almost like a curse word, isn't it? If you're a prepper or somebody that has things stocked up that you want to take care of yourself that conventional medicine and everything doesn't take care of. In my case, conventional medicine won't help unless I get surgery. Then this one's for you. But it's going to get disgusting because I've actually only shown a few people what actually this looks like. But I think you need to know this. Because if you have a bad situation that you can't make it to a doctor or what have you, for whatever the reason, then some of the things that I've done may actually help you. And I know they've saved me because I should have been dead years ago. So the backstory to that is, I have to look up the date again because I'm running out of time. We lived here 3 years. It was infected a year ago before that. Right? And then the year before that, I had the accident. So it's probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 5 years ago, I had an accident. I had an AMG. I was having a good time, made a 90-degree left turn and hit a giant freaking tree. And I came out of it okay. So did my girlfriend. But I pancaked my heel bone. And they had to do surgery and put it together with plates and screws. And it was okay for almost the first year. And it was healing and everything was good. And I was like walking again a little bit. And then crazy shit happened. I got this volcano along my scar line, which some of you may have experienced in other parts of your body. It's almost like a giant zit, and it hurts like hell. And I gotta tell you, if I kind of knew then what I knew now, maybe I could have helped eradicate it. I don't know. But either way, I've got hardware in my foot with 7 screws holding it in. And it kind of looks like a messed up motorcycle sprocket, which is awesome for you guys that are into bikes. But it's not cool. And so the only way to fix my problem is surgery, take my hardware out, and, the screws, whatever, all the hardware out of my foot. And what happened is, we've been in this house for 3 years, but before we moved here, we were in a really cool house still in Coral Springs. And the problem is we found out too late toxic mold. And we think that may have been responsible. You know what I mean? Sorry, I have to keep looking out there because you never know when an iguana's... Where a squirrel's going to walk up. That's my kitchen window, right? I'll show you. There you go. Got the big window. That's why I keep looking left. In case everybody's like, why the hell does she keep looking left? Because I don't know when a varmint's going to hit my property. I'm sure it'll be fine. And so anyway... When I had the accident, they fixed me up, they put hardware in there, and I love them. They did a great job. But about not even a year later, it became infected. And so here's where the graphic part comes up. Because I'm going to show you, which I've actually never done on a video before. A lot of my friends know what it looks like. It actually looks pretty good right now. Only because I've had a problem the last week. This past weekend, on Saturday, my little blister above on my ankle bone turned into what I thought was a water blister into a volcano. And then it became so outrageously painful. I mean, I couldn't even sleep. You can't even breathe on the thing. It actually is that painful when this happens. So I'm going to bring the camera down, and I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't like kind of gross stuff, don't look at my foot. Fair warning. But, you know, I don't have a problem showing you. Okay, so, anyway, foot. Let me see if I can see this here. See my foot? That's what popped up this Saturday. It got really bad. And it's actually small. Wait, let me pick my foot up so I can actually do this properly. And it's actually small right now, because I've had poultice on it. This, down here, see this? There's one hole, two holes. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry about this. One hole, two holes. There's a few down here that I've been dealing with now for the last few years. This is what my foot looks like, and my surgery scar is here up to here. And of course, I'm not going to get political because of a certain health care. There's no way I was getting fixed in the last few years. Ow, I just got a Charlie horse on my butt. That sucked. Twisting my leg around like that. Ow. Alright, so anyway, I know that was gross. But and the thing is, if you see a little black in there and all that, it's not dirt. It's because I'm constantly poulticing my foot, and I just took it off. And the thing is, that's actually what got this ugly little part on my ankle down just a bit. It was actually way worse 2 days ago, 3 days ago. Today's Tuesday? Yeah, Saturday, it was really bad. By Saturday night, oh my God, I was just losing my mind. This is like, they don't make enough alcohol in the world to kill that pain. So, almost, but not quite. And so, like I said, I've been, this stuff here, along my scar line, am I getting this? Along my scar line, they've been continually draining for several years now. Right? And in my case, you actually don't want them to close up. You want them to keep draining, because when that stuff closes up and fills up, it's excruciatingly painful. So this is what I actually have to deal with every day of my life, which is why I'm grumpy sometimes. And the truth is, you see me like waist up, you know? Seems like I'm normal. I'm actually not. I deal with this pain and garbage every day. There are very few days I can say I've gotten up and gone to bed the entire day with no pain. It's excruciatingly painful, but given the situation that we're in right now, you know, with this PD stuff, I will not go to a hospital. But I've actually kept it at bay, and that's what we're talking about here today. So I've kept it at bay for all the years that it's happened, because of my plants and everything that I know. You know, in a way, what happened to me was kind of a blessing, because even though I'm a plant girl and I know my stuff and all that, my goodness, I learned so much more because of my foot. And the important thing about all this is, you know, when you're in a shit hits the fan situation, you need alternatives, right? But for me, alternatives were not even an option, like according to the doctors and all that. They're like, we have to rip your foot open, we have to take the hardware out, that's the only way to fix you. And they're right. They're completely right. Aside from that, he told me straight up, antibiotics will not help you, even though that's a major infection. And the reason why, it's because there's hardware, metal in your foot. It's not organic. It's not part of your body. And so the little bacteria's hiding the holes. Because like I said, it's like a sprocket. It's got all holes in there, which is really kind of cool. When they take it out, I'm going to hang it on my wall. Anyway, the bacteria hides in there. And no matter what you do, it won't kill it. And he did tell me that first year when I went there and all that happened, he's like, you need to get to the hospital like yesterday because this is one form of staph infection. It can kill you. And it can. But it hasn't yet. When it does, everybody's like, yay, the mouth is silenced. Anyway, I'm going to show you one of the things that or two, even three, of the things that I think that, and I know that, you know, if you guys are preppers or even that, not for nothing, like I said, even the conventional doctors said that unless they cut my foot open and take everything out, can't fix me. And so in the meantime, I had to keep myself working, and then life happens, right? 3 years ago, we had to move into this house. So ending up flat on my back in a hospital bed and down and out for 6 to 8 months was not an option, and it still isn't right now, you know, because I have other obligations and priorities. And so I always said, if it comes down to the point where I'm on my deathbed, then I'll go to the hospital. But for right now, it's not going to happen. And so my daily routine, almost daily, this is one thing that everybody, and it's not exactly this brand, but everybody should have activated charcoal in their preps. Everybody. And I know that's kind of, is that going to be backwards? I don't even know. But you know what? I got jars of it as loose powder because the thing is I do make capsules out of them. And you can eat them. You know what? The applications of activated charcoal are so numerous that that's a whole nother video. We're just talking about this situation right now. So anyway, I have jars of capsules. And then this is loose. Okay? Completely black. You can make toothpaste out of this. By the way, which you should. Shouldn't be buying the garbage in the store. And so what I do, this has insane drawing power. If you take just a few capsules of charcoal, they have the equivalent drawing power of the area that a football field covers. That's how powerful activated charcoal is. So when you get one of these zits, or volcanoes like I had on my foot and what just appeared on my ankles Saturday, this is the way to go. Which is basically a staph infection, because not too much else creates that, you know what I mean? And not only that, you know, when you do in charcoal form, ooh, just got the ring on my hand from touching the jar. When you do in capsule form, you know, when you ingest it and everything else, perfectly good, natural, no big thing. This takes an amazing amount of toxins out of your body. And you know we've all got plenty of those. And so, and I could go on and on. You know what, it would be worth it actually to do an entire video just on this stuff. But I also use bentonite clay, which is worth actually another video. So what I do is I've got this little bowl here. I've got a few of these. But they're convenient for mixing stuff, right? And I take like my little tablespoon and I put it in here. You can do more or less. It depends on the area you're trying to cover. If you've got to cover your whole femur, then you need more, you know what I mean? And it depends on what I'm trying to cover. I do less or more. You know, the more you do this, you just eyeball it and get used to it. Now, usually when I do that, because the funny thing is I get busy. If I was a really good girl, I'd poultice it morning, noon, and night all the time with just a few hour break in between. But I don't. When it feels good, sometimes I go a few days. Like when my friend Dana was visiting me, I don't think I poulticed my foot at all. It felt great. It was amazing. It was the magic of Dana, I believe. She's an amazing person. So anyway, I didn't do it. But when I haven't done it, if it gets really inflamed and it hurts a whole lot, I do this. And then what I mix in here is turmeric powder. So I just eyeball it. I put a splash of it in there, you know, put a splash of it in there. Right. And the thing is, I do grow turmeric. So when it's ready, I actually harvest it myself, dry it, and use my own. But that's organic turmeric. This is from the Spice Lab. Gary's mom always gives it to me. It's actually really good. Oops, sorry. Anyway, she gives me these big jars, and these are the jars that I actually use for my poultice. Sometimes I put a scoop of bentonite clay in there. This stuff is amazing. You can use it on your face, your skin, ingest it just like charcoal. But it also has amazing drawing powder. So occasionally I'll put a little fingertip of that in there. I'm not doing that now. And then what I do, so you see, there's not all that much in there, right? Okay. Oh, now let me get the water. So I've got my little water gallons here. And it doesn't take a lot of water to get this going here. I just I dump it in the cap. And then I throw a few capfuls in here. And I've got my little, plus a little. And then I've got where is it? Oh, sorry about that. I have this tiny spatula especially for this stuff. So I just go and I swirl it around just a little bit till it gets mixed up. Now, if you put a little too much water, it's no big deal, man. Put a little more charcoal or a little more turmeric. And in my case, sometimes if it gets watery like this, I do just a little bit more bentonite clay, which I do usually put in there, right? So you mix it up. Now this is really watery, so I put a little too much water. But again, it's not a big deal, right? And the thing is, if you're doing this like in a little plastic container, whatever, mix it up. If you have too much because of adding and whatever, you can always just throw a lid on it and save it for the next day. It's no big deal. So I've got a little too much water in there, so I'm going to add a little bit more charcoal. Make it a little, you want it like a paste, you're making a poultice. And by the way, some people use this, they've actually done on a large scale, like put it across their back when they have bronchial infections. Remember, your skin's the biggest organ in your body, right? And so whatever you put on there is just going to draw everything out from the outside. And I'm telling you guys, this stuff is the reason why I'm still walking right now after more than 4 years. I wouldn't be if it wasn't for this stuff. And by the way, even the doctor agreed with me. Because like I said, conventional medication at that point, like he said, would not help me unless I have major surgery and get the stuff out of my foot, which is not an option right now. I'm putting a little more turmeric in there. Turmeric won't burn. The cool thing about turmeric is it reduces inflammation. It actually really helps kill pain. So if you want to put that into your poultice, it's not a big deal, and everybody should be growing it. It's a magic plant. It really is. So I had to add a little more water because I had a little too much turmeric in there. It's getting messy. Here we go. So now, this is a little wetter. Sometimes I have it a little thicker, but it's like you see? It's a little wetter. All right, so here's number 2. You want it wet. When you do a charcoal poultice, if you want it to dry the most out of you and everything else, you don't, put it on like sometimes you do a clay thing. Like for those of you that are horse people, you do the poultice thing and it dries when you put the paper around it, whatever. When you do this kind of stuff, if you want to draw stuff out like I do at my foot, you put it on, it stays wet. It has the most drawing power. You wrap it with saran wrap, and I usually sleep on it. It's overnight. And then I usually get up early in the morning. And then when I get up in the morning, I take it off. I give my foot an hour or so rest. And then I put it on again. And it goes with me, even if I have to go to the store. Because it's saran wrap good, and I'm going to show you that now. So let me get a plate. And let me show you how I do this. I'm probably going to have to stop this and restart and do like 2 or 3 parts. I have no idea. Where are my paper towels? Oh, here we go. All right. So this is how you want to do it. You don't want to do this stuff in too thick or too thin of a material, right? So the perfect thing literally is paper towels. And you see, this is a sheet here. I fold it in half. So I got my little crease. And I put it on my plate. And once it's on my plate, I throw my poultice in there. Now mine's really wet this time. If it's really, really thick and not wet enough, I'm going to show you in a minute. Hang on a second. So I'm spreading it. So here you go. I just spread it on that half of the paper towel, right? This poultice happens to be runny and fairly wet. And then I fold the paper towel over, and it's folded in half. And if you see the other side, it's fairly wet. You can see the shiny. If it's not wet enough, I take my water with a few capfuls and gently drizzle water on there. Because you want the moisture on there. You don't want it drying. Right? Okay. So that's that. So now, I'm going to stop this for 1 second because I have to set myself back up on the floor because I can't do this standing up. And I'm going to show you actually how I put this on my foot. It's pathetic, but it may just save one of you guys one of these days. Even if you've got like a little like zit or infection or whatever you've got, this is the way to do it, folks. All right, so I'm going to transfer to the floor. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. So, I'm on the floor, so you'll have to forgive me. So I'm trying to get this like straight in a way that you can actually see it. But this is actually the way that I have to do this. Because I can't do it standing up. Which I can't even stand up and do my shoes and socks. So anyway, but, you know, you want to get down. Literally, when I do this, and, you know, when you get used to it, I can do this in under 3 minutes. I mix my thing, bam, I put it in a paper towel, and you need Saran Wrap. Get lots of it for your preps. Because no matter what, even if you got bee sting, bug bites, the whole 9 yards, this can literally eliminate it overnight. Of course, it won't eliminate my problem overnight, because I have foreign objects in my bones that need to be removed, but if you don't, it's magic. So anyway, like I said, here's my foot. Yeah, it's gross. And you see the indentation, that's the bottom part of my scar, and the scar goes all the way up here. But it's particularly bad now, because that just popped up Saturday. For which I had to get really drunk for not to feel it. So anyway, there's my plate, which I made wet. And here's what I do. I hope I can do this to the point where you can actually see it. And the thing is, I'm so sensitive that this even room temperature water or whatever, it kills me. 1, 2, 3. So anyway, I drape it on my foot right over the problem area, right? There you go. By the way, it's black. Charcoal makes everything black, but it won't stain you. Okay. And then, Saran Wrap time. This is Nikki's routine. You twist it, do whatever you gotta do. Don't make it too tight. You just want to cover it enough to give it a little barrier. And then I rip it off. And I kind of wrap it around just a teeny bit. It sticks to itself, so it's not a big deal. And then, once that's done, I put my sock back on. And this is basically how I walk around and work every day. Most people don't know the difference. I've gotten used to it. 4 years, I've perfected the art of being lame. And nobody knows the difference. So, there you go. But, again, this is a really complicated area of your body to do this on. But you can do it on any part of your body, really. And the thing is, if it's like an awkward small area or whatever, you can, use smaller, like, size poultices or whatever to cover it. The secret to this is, when you want to use activated charcoal to draw the crap out of your body, keep it moist. And there's no harm in keeping it on overnight, when you go to bed and all that. And, that's one of the main things I use. I can't live without it. I've got tons of it. in my preps. That, and for those of you that can't get it, there's another thing that's actually absolutely fabulous at drawing out really bad stuff out of your body. And that is plantain, which grows here. And I had quite a bit of it along the backside of my house when we moved in. Right now it's not cooperating. So I need to like go in there and search between the weeds and see where the heck it's at. Plantain's amazing. If you're in an SHTF situation and you find plantain, which grows all over the country basically, there's no ice and snow, you can grab a few leaves, chew on it a little bit, put it on a wound, and it does have pretty extraordinary drawing power. So you'd actually really love it. It works quite well. Like I said, I need to go more extreme because I have hardware, non-organic things in my body down there. And so for me, every day I have to make sure that I kind of go to the extreme. But if you just have a wound or whatever, that stuff will work too. But for me, I can't live without my activated charcoal, bentonite, clay, and turmeric. It's three things in combination that literally has kept me walking the last well over 4 years, you know. Because I know by now I'm not, you know, denying it. I've got osteomyelitis, which is the infection made it into my bone. And so when they do surgery, they were going to have to debride my bone and go in there and drill it out and everything else. But to be honest with you, and you guys have seen my videos, on most days, I do pretty darn good. When you see me, you would never guess that I'm a complete cripple. Waist down. on most days. Except the first half of the day, I'm good. The end of the day, I'm not good. Then I get grumpy. And drunk, usually. Alright, so anyway, I've got more to add to this, and I will. And if you have any questions, just ask me. I'm happy to help you, you know. Given the situation that we're in, everybody needs a little help, right? But I'm telling you, I would be probably with only 1 foot right now if it wasn't for this stuff. Because the doctor did tell me I was going to lose my foot. That was over 4.5 years ago. Haven't lost it yet. Only thing I lose is a lot of iguanas. It's a good thing. Alright. I love you, and I'm going to add on to this. I'll do a part 2 with some other stuff that you're really going to like, but activated charcoal, you guys got to stock up on it. Love you. Nikki out. Stay green and black like activated charcoal. A little wild and dirty doesn't hurt either. And wrapped up with some poultice. Peace out.